In this video, we're going to talk about moving from a retail mindset into a professional mindset. Professionals literally think differently to retail. Professionals in every sphere think differently than the ones who are not professional. In order to become professional, you need to think like a professional. This video is going to cover some very amazing aspects of that can spill into your life and create so much happiness for you as well. Stay tuned and don't forget, watch to the end, because there are so many gems in this video. Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS and the inventor of the CTKS method, the world's most powerful smart money institution and algorithmic buy and sell level detection system. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back, CTKS family. My goal is to assist you to become more of a financial and emotional blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth and positive excellence in the process. If you would like to know where smart money is buying and selling, please subscribe. If you find the content helpful, please smash the like button. With that said, let's run the numbers. Rule 4. Price moves in waves. This is a very specific rule and one that's generally misunderstood. And you might say, Ken, how can it be misunderstood? Price moves in waves. That just means prices going up and down. That is very true. Price is always moving in a wave. It's going up and down. It's going down even in an uptrend, and it's going up even in a downtrend. This can desynchronize a lot of people. This is why we do our daily three-dimensional risk management. The market pays you for synchronization. If you're desynchronized, you pay the market. Because price moves in waves, people think, oh no, I got it wrong. They become very fearful. There was a terrific film called After Earth where Will Smith played the father of his actual son. It was a really touching film, and he talked a lot about fear. He said, fear is not real. It can only exist in your thoughts of the future. It's a product of imagination, causing us to fear things that do not exist at present and may never exist at all. In financial markets, you put your hard-earned money on the line, and it's really easy to look at the red and say, ouch, everything is just going to hell. But when you look at different time periods, you may be quite surprised actually what is going on. The primary difference between retail and professionals: retail are driven by fear, professionals are driven by courage and running the numbers. Courage is emotional mastery. It's very important. Retail exists in Zone 1 and Zone 2, professionals in Zone 3 and Zone 4. The fastest bridge to the professional side away from retail, and if you're feeling like you're in that retail side, you really need to get out of there as quickly as possible. Why is that? Because you will just lose in those particular zones. Zone 1 and Zone 2 are the barbed wire and broken glass zones. They're terrible places to live. The fastest way from Zone 1 and Zone 2 across to Zone 3 and Zone 4 is forgiveness. I'll explain a little bit more. What happens on the retail side when things go against people? They get very angry. They start to blame. The major problem with the retail process, it simply looks at the wrong things. A lot of people only look at the charts that they trade or invest in. This is a massive retail mistake. What do professionals do? A professional looks across the market and understands the pulse. Retail also uses recent indicative price and story-based analysis. Professionals use the market structure and price as the reality. Also, retail get caught into the certainty trap, which creates terror. A lot of people want certainty. How could you ever have certainty with price moving in a wave? It's always going up and down and up and down. You cannot have certainty under those conditions, but you can have something else. Instead, in Zone 3, we have probabilities and rules. We know what we're doing, and we've learned from past errors. How do you get probabilities? You get probabilities from marking up your charts with the CTKS method. We don't mark up charts with recent indicative price. We don't use SBA or story-based analysis. Instead, we use the CTKS method to reveal objective dynamic market structure across all of price history. It is an incredibly powerful technique. And what do we do when we pop on the indicator? We can see in dollar yen. What is going on here? Dollar yen went from one very nice support level around that 139.98 and came up to the next resistance level between 141.76 and the higher one, 141.95. It's currently 141.86. We talk about this in real time on the channel each day. One thing that you know, when price is coming down to a confluence of smart money buy levels, it has a very strong probability of bouncing. And if it bounces sufficiently, it's going to get magnetized to the next levels up. The CTKS method works on any price chart, and you can learn it once and apply it for a lifetime. CJ yesterday said, "Great video, Ken and Kate. Your system has revolutionized the way I trade Forex. The consistency of evaluating high percentage and probabilistic moves is amazing." After being educated in the masterclass, which allowed a great understanding of how all the world markets function together, adding the CTKS method, which allowed me to mark up any chart, then adding the method service, it has cut years and I'm sure tens of thousands of dollars of losses off my learning curve. Your education system and method is the greatest purchase I've ever made. Thank you so much, CJ. We know from Rule 446 that all markets are intercorrelated and interdependent. You can also read that as all charts are intercorrelated and interdependent, because that's exactly what it means. When we look at dollar yen, and then when we look at other Forex charts, what is happening here? What the CTKS method is all about is understanding where the safety nets are, and if you get a climactic drop down in price of any particular chart, you're looking for a confluence of smart money, algorithmic, institutional buy levels. And that's what the CTKS method does. It reveals those smart money buy and sell levels. Just zooming in a little, and this applies to any price chart. So you might be saying, "Oh, Ken, I don't trade Forex, I trade indices, or I trade commodities, or I trade anything else." It doesn't matter. The CTKS method is exactly the same on every price chart. When you get a confluence of smart money buy areas, they will catch price on the way down. You can imagine when price was just falling on the DXY like this, many people said, "The DXY is going to zero. It's just going to plummet." No, it's going to SLs or Stanfield levels, especially a confluence of them below. And this is what we always see inside the markets. What happens next? If the confluence of smart money buy areas actually supports price, it's going to the next SL above. This is what we see every day, 7 days a week. The thing to remember, all price charts are intercorrelated and interconnected. This is the DXY. What is this one? This is gold, marked up with the CTKS method since 1833. And I'll pop that indicator on in a minute. I just wanted to show you this variation. When the DXY typically comes down, what does gold typically do? Notice that I worded that with typically. You must understand this about financial markets. As soon as you think it's a rule, it can get broken. You must be flexible. Many people would say, "Ken, there's no... what the heck happened there, Ken? You inverted the DXY and now I can see it. Before I couldn't see it, but now I can." My goodness, the DXY currently is in an inverse relationship with gold. These are the kinds of things you learn inside the masterclass. I'd like to thank Purpuratum for your very kind comments. As CJ said before, the masterclass just draws everything together and the service provides the levels. So let's have a look at the levels. What are they doing? Currently, well, gold closed at $19.57 and 30 cents. What do we notice about this smart money buy area around that 1954 level? Price came up and it came up very, very strongly. It was caught by a ceiling. A lot of people would have said, gold is going to infinity and beyond. No, it's going to an SL. And what happens with these ceilings, these smart money resistance levels? That's where all the algorithms, all the institutional investors start leaning in and dumping. They start selling. And what is the result of that? When we look at this higher smart money sell level at 1961, we see that we were trying to break it. And you'll notice time and time again, if price can't get up to an SL, it comes back to the previous L. If it gets up, it often does come back as well. That's meaning that price is moving in a wave. This is what I was trying to explain with today's video. Even though you may have been in a very, very good trade, you could get pulled out of it because fear can take over. There's only one way to prevent fear from ruining your finances. But fear does much more than that. It ruins your life. Fear pushes us into negative excellence. When people become fearful, they get into blame. It can even turn into hatred and revenge. What a horrible way to live a life. When things go wrong in life, the best thing that you can possibly do is just to salute and move on. That is forgiveness. Forgiveness is never about other people. It's always about ourselves. With forgiveness, you simply say, when you salute, I got the lesson, I understand. And then you just move on with your life. The salute is literally, thank you for the lesson. Unfortunately, when people adopt a negative excellence focus, they're into sustainable misery, conflict, unhappiness, and failure. But you can break out of that at any time, and we all have negative excellence and positive excellence inside us. When people get into blame, they stop and prevent themselves from learning. There is not one person on this planet that has a learning difficulty. They have a blame difficulty. Many people think that forgiveness is weak, not the way we do it. From a positive excellence stance, forgiveness requires the strength to move on. And it is strength. When I put my name to a quote, these words have never existed before. For example, if you're in a price chart that looks like this, it's hit very strong support and you know it has a probability of bouncing. And we were talking about this inside dollar yen for quite a while. This area of support at around that 139, 140 mark was really, really looking good. But if you missed it, if your fear kept you out of the market, you must simply salute and move on. You say thanks for the lesson. As a global family of over 16,000 eagles worldwide, we focus on positive excellence. That means we focus on persistence and commitment, learning and never blaming. We don't blame because we're not interested in being disempowered. We want to be empowered. We are in control of our lives. But we're in control of our lives with integrity and decency. We don't ever seek to harm other people. We don't ever seek to gain an advantage at the expense of another. We're a group of very kind and very authentic people, but our authenticity is never angry. It's never a negative excellence-based one. You'll see that on TV a lot. People say, "Oh, I'm so authentic," when they're just doing negative excellence behaviors. No, that is not authenticity at all. That's just being vicious and mean. We know from the creed that the universe wants you to succeed. It wants to support you and lift you up with everything that you do in life. So each day, you don't need to show any negative excellence behaviors. You can show positive excellence behaviors like kindness, integrity, and gratitude. As a global family, we are dedicated and committed. We either win or learn and never blame. Why is that? Because blame in financial markets will cost you a fortune. You just don't want to do that. You must learn as quickly as possible. The next time you feel yourself getting upset with anything in life, just practice that forgiveness. Salute the lesson. What you learned, something new that you didn't expect, and then move on. Just drop it. Don't stay anchored to the past. Financial markets are really chaotic. They always climb a wall of worry. If you're waiting for the perfect time to sail your financial boat out into the calm waters, you will stay at the shore forever. It's never ever going to happen. Get used to the choppy seas. That's fine. They're always there. You'll be doing a lot of saluting and moving on. Yesterday, we saw Bitcoin hovering around this smart money resistance level at 25,553. It did manage to get above it. There was some pretty good news. Basically, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, said, I'm going to have a Bitcoin trust. And SEC, you're going to approve it. After all, they're a £8 million gorilla. And therefore the SEC will do whatever they ask of them. Very nice of them. What do we see here? We pass through this smart money sell level at 25,926. Where are we going to next? You got it. The next SL above. If you're a member of the service, you already have this beautiful little indicator on your charts already. You know where that level is. You might say, Ken, that's so unfair. I'm not a member of the service. Well, you could be a foundation member, and that's going to close reasonably soon. So I would urge you to do so if you want to get a great deal. And what you look at, the next level up is around that $27,018. Always keep in mind, if it's not going up, it's going down to the next SL below. And if it doesn't hold that one, it's going down to the next SL below that. Price is always moving in a wave, even in an uptrend. And Brett, thank you so much. Brett is just amazing. He loves smashing that like button. Wow, thank you, my friend. And if you're finding the content to be helpful to you, I'd love it if you hit that like button. And if you're not a member of our global family, just please press subscribe and you're in. For those inside the CTKS Method service, it's very important that you look through the Tier 1s and the Tier 2s each day. Just make it a bit of a habit. It will give you an incredible feeling on the market. And inside the CTKS Method service, you get a video explanation, the three-dimensional risk management on each particular thing in here, as well as the CTKS Method indicator across Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. In total, there are 25 videos and 25 indicators inside the service. But please note, the Foundation memberships are strictly limited. If you want to get in at one of the best prices that will ever exist, please pop across to the ctksmethod.org. Let's have a look at XRP's price. But before that, I'd just like to read you something that Art said. Art, thank you very much. Art says, your persistence and commitment to this community motivates me every day, whilst I'll try to keep my commitments that I've made. I've had a few buy orders filled recently that were placed using the 10-5-10 rule. The idea is that if price drops 50%, it will have to rise 100% to get back up to where it was. I really like this rule in the market as there are so many potential news events that could drive price lower, creating awesome wicks to catch. I will be looking for trading opportunities during this volatile phase, and the 10-5-10 rule combined with using the CTKS method and the SL lines will be key in my trading decisions for the next 6 months or so. Thank you so much, Art. When looking at market action, the reason that we have the CTKS method, we need to know where the safety nets are. As price comes down like this, and it's always doing this, not just in crypto, but it's doing it in the stock market, in Forex, in commodities, it does it everywhere. We need to know where the safety nets are because that's where we love to lean in around those levels. We also need to know where the ceilings are because they will slow down upward price momentum. Where are these safety nets on XRP's price? We can see that XRP couldn't just get above this resistance at 47.98. And you say, but Ken, it did get above resistance. It just traded higher. The concept is a gravitational pull. We can't sustainably get above that level. What does it mean? We're going to the next level. We can't sustainably get above this 47.81 level. Where are we going? We're going to the next level. We can't sustainably get above that one at all. At 47.14, where are we going? To the next one. Wow, that just cut through that, just not even on the cards. But you can see a stronger area of algorithmic buy support at around that 45.59 mark. And you can say, but Ken, it didn't even come down and touch that area. That's really good because that's what we're after. We want to see a thing called positive air. When we've got positive air, we have a very strong likelihood of retesting the previous smart money ceiling. And you see, it did that. Price is always moving in a wave, trying to shake people out of their positions with fear. What do we do if we're shaken out of a position because of fear? We just salute it. Thanks for the lesson, and we move on. What do we see? This zigzagging action between. And when we get above a smart money sell area, where are we headed? To the next one. If we get above that, where are we headed? To the next one. But if we don't make it, what does it mean? It's got a good probability of coming down, potentially 1 or 2. Just keep this in mind. The CTKS method takes away so much stress out of financial markets, and you can see it just applies to everything. We've seen the VIX, the fear gauge of the market, and it's good to talk about the VIX because we're talking about fear. What is the fear gauge of the market doing? It's moving down, but it's moving down in a wave, up and down, but the overall path is down. Many thanks to Crypto Monkey who said the comment in the last video. Crypto Monkey said, I was emailed by CMC Markets the other day to register interest in their upcoming crypto trading services. In case people haven't come across CMC, they are a UK-listed traditional finance or TradFi exchange who have been around forever. I find it interesting that they are close to launching crypto trading on their platforms. We are early, KS family, and this is going mainstream. It definitely is, Crypto Monkey. This is fascinating at a time where Binance is getting shoved out of different countries. The traditional exchanges are ramping up their efforts. It's not by mistake, and it's not by coincidence either. To understand where the smart money is buying and selling, we can see the VIX failed to hold its 2 support levels or safety nets. It's dropped below. And that means there's a lot of negative momentum on the VIX. What does that mean? That means that the risk-on behavior is definitely inside the market. But of course, just always remember, everything is moving in a wave. Retail can get very, very angry with the markets because they buy on green. Buying on green is a very, very dangerous thing to do. What do professionals do? They buy on red. It's a completely different mindset. As it's the weekend, it's really good to talk about these kind of things. There will definitely be a raft of disappointments in life that you're going to have to deal with. The secret is just to salute the lesson and then move on. The concept of moving on is that you just drop it. You just eradicate it from your mind. And you say, I learned from that. Now I'm going to do better next time. The thing we don't want to do is to engage in blame, hatred, revenge, all of those kind of negative excellence behaviors. Why is that? Because the impact on your health is so great, it's so unhealthy. Raising up your cortisol levels, ruminating on the thing that did you wrong. It harms your life to hold on to things that you need to let go of. It does take a lot of strength to move on. Forgiveness is never weak, and it's never about other people or other events. It's always about ourselves. When you forgive, you are literally saying, this thing that happened to me that was really rough, really bad, very unfair, I'm just dropping it and kicking it into the past. That requires enormous strength. The majority of people just don't have the strength to do that. With positive excellence as your forward guidance, you just focus on learning. You focus on having inner peace and outer peace. You focus on your kindness, especially to yourself. You cannot give what you do not have. If you're unkind to yourself, it's very difficult to be kind to other people. A lot of people stuck in negative excellence wouldn't dream of being kind to other people. They would prefer to attack. This is not the way the world works. Negative excellence behaviors are all about the losing money rule zones. They're things that you don't want to have anything to do with. There's not scarcity in life, there's abundance. But you have to change your mind. If you think that way, you need to change your mind to be able to see it. At the start, it's not easy to do. But it is true. Just go for a walk in nature. See the abundance of what is out there. It's just incredible. You are part of nature. You are an abundant human being. Anything that you put your mind to, you can succeed at. But the key is to succeed with positive excellence. We've seen many examples of people who succeed wildly with negative excellence. Where do they end up? In jail. And therefore losing everything. It's just not the way to go. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, and with 16,000 people in our global family, that's always a probability that somebody's going through some kind of pullback. Those pullbacks can be big and they can be small. If you're going through a particularly harsh life pullback, please know that that is giving you strength for the next life rally. You must keep your optimism. Keep your fighting spirit. Unfortunately, it's not just price that moves in waves. Our life moves in waves. That pullback that you're getting is the promotion and support setting up for the next life rally. The sun will come out again. Things will improve. Often we get pullbacks when we need to start to think about life differently. It's a good time to salute that lesson, whatever it is, and the lesson will be different for everyone. One thing that you might like to keep in mind, these life pullbacks that you encounter, and we all encounter them, they correctly redirect you on to the right path. Not only do they set you up for the next life rally, but they put you on the path that you need to be on. That path always has more positive excellence on it than the other path did. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.